Hello and welcome for another VP2 Degen Challenge run. For this video I ended up using text-to-speech. It make editing a lot easier for me. The video quality is a bit disputable since this is a Twitch VOD. In my previous run, the challenge was to finish the game with Alicia solo without getting hit once, and without using the skills Solitary Struggle, which increase all stats by 20% for each dead party member. I Cowlant farm for Chrysal and Relay's characters until the final boss was defeated. One thing that you hear all the time with this game is that you need to grind for level. So this new challenge lift the level again by making it a lot harder. So here are the new rules. I cannot gain any level. And for this I used a patch. I can only use one character. I can't use a character that is more than level 6. I can't use Solitary Struggle. I can't release any character and I can't get hit in battle. And this run was barely possible due to one stat that everyone ignores since the levels fix it. A level of around 30 is enough to fix this issue. I didn't ran into many issue until chapter 5. So I did shorten a lot of boss fight since it was mostly the same as my previous run. As you can see, I didn't get any experience points. The first boss is very easy. The trick is to hit his horn, which is the vital point. Some boss have that kind of weakness, and no matter how much HP they have, if you destroy it, it will instantly die. On my way to this boss, I did grab Krod as a character, and I should have used him here, but Alicia worked well for this fight and takes slightly longer. The most notable drop from this boss is the packed chain, but I didn't get it. This accessory allows you to learn the skill Unholy Purifier quite early. Racist skill increase damage by 50% and give critical rank +1 against a specific race. Critical is a bit weird in this game since it's not percent based. For this forced battle I used Dylan, since it's easy to destroy the leg of the skeleton with him. By destroying the leg there's 80% chance of getting a black crystal. This accessory increase all stats by 6% if you suffer from any negative status effect. Poison or silence work the best for it. It's only a very minor boost, but it helped. This is another easy boss until his HP reach 50%. At 50%, he will start using a very annoying attack, so the trick is to use the flare gem that you can grab in one of the previous rooms. And use this item when his health reach the D of the leader word, and this will finish him instantly. Many people miss this sword. Since it only have one attack, it's very good with Mirage Pierce. This attack ignore foe defense, which is probably one of the best Alicia attack. Non-Einherjar characters start with a higher base level. I wish there was a way to start with everyone at level 1. This boss, which is actually not a boss, but a normal enemy disguised as a boss, is actually very funny. The only downside is that you don't get any experience point. Then I went here for 2 items. Thunderbreath Core is used for a racist skill. And Great Eagle Heart increase attack by 15%. This gray accessory doesn't stack, so only one was enough. Then I went for this Crab Mini boss. The sword he drop allow me to deal with the insects in Turgeon Mine. Turn out I can just flee and avoid those, so it was an useless detour. I went back to town for unlocking 2 bonus dungeon and the next step in the story. This boss is very stupid. Then I realized that I forgot to restore the sword Blessing Seal Stone, which increased my attack by 20%. This optional boss is also very easy. By hitting his vital point, it will die quite quickly. Killing it the first time doesn't give anything special, but doing optional area can give you a seal pouch. There's 3 in total. This allows you to equip more seal stone for a total of 4 in the end. I don't know why, but I did a detour and got Fyres. Turn out at the end this is what saved the run. Fyres is the best archer until the post-game. In the early day of speedrun, she was one of the meta character. I also put the Chasm Worth in the area dais. It reduced defense by half since the next boss doesn't have much defense. I don't think it was that useful. This boss is generally a wall for first timer. It can deal huge damage and it have quite a lot of health. Without using the Holy Water of Mithra or the Crodicator, which require the release of either Mithra or Crod. There's no way to deal decent damage at this point in the game. Normally you are supposed to drain the water, but the trick is not to do that. None but one attack can hit you if you go at the bottom left of the area. Use it to recharge AP. This boss only get dangerous when his HP get around 30 to 40%. If I don't have enough AP to cycle his attack, it was very much a wipe. This big attack that you can see on the radar is the only one to be wary of. Speaking of radar, try to play with the one that allow you to see attack pattern. You can do that by pressing R2. Many new players do the mistake of using the global radar, and this one is useless. You can also turn off auto camera, which I recommend to do by pressing L3. This boss give the Divine Time Giver. This allow me to continue my attack at the cost of extra AP usage. Then I did grab Zunde. It's currently the best character in the game until very late post-game. Then I backtracked to Lost Forest for the Brilliant Peacemaker. This accessory give a boost to all stats by 50% if your HP is under 20%. Then I ran into the first phase of Evolver, and I had no idea what the fuck was happening with him. I did let some clip play for the example. I will use that time to explain why Zunde is that good. First, he start with the racist skill. Giant Killer and all Chapter 3 boss from this point are Giant type. Normally, this is a skill that you can't get before Chapter 4, and this is not the only reason. Characters have an hidden stats, which is the attack multipliers. Let's take deep dive. Both Crod and Zunde got this attack. I don't remember the exact value, but Crod got a multiplier of 1.2 and Zunde got a multiplier of 1.8, which is the highest in the game. He also start with Dreaded Radius and Sweep Dive, which are the best heavy warrior attack in the game. But get Rezard, I didn't use Zunde that much, not because he was too strong, but I wanted to use as much as possible a level 1 character. In my previous challenge run, the hardest main game boss by far was the Hydra. Because of the RNG was Hydra, and I didn't want it to restart the fight over 30 times, turn out this challenge went into RNG nightmare later. Second phase of this boss is also quite RNG heavy. This boss can use a big AI attack that deal very huge damage, so I was using an attack that push him away. Most boss get a new dangerous attack at around 50 or 30%, but this one can use it all the time. The chance is based on how much HP left he got. 1% chance at 99% health, and 99% chance at 1% health. Then I unlocked another extra dungeon and the next step in the story. What the fuck happened? Without pushback, this boss is quite RNG heavy. I should have used Crod since he's only level 1, but I forgot he existed. Without pushback, this boss is a nightmare and very RNG heavy. The trick is to make use of his regeneration move. I didn't want it to deal with that again, so I used Zunde for that. No, again, I won't use Zunde the whole game. In the next dungeon I did grab the power bangle. It's a gray accessory that increase attack by 30% and this one stack. Percent boost in this game are additive and not multiplicative. This is the reason why you can get huge damage. Almost all new players miss this fact and tend to focus only on defense. Defense is nigh useless in this game and only start to have real value at around 500. In this dungeon, there's a seal stone that increase attack by 300%, but your weapon have 25% to break and permanently lost. I didn't restore the seal stone and I used it only in this place, because it's not that great in the long run. This boss is quite easy, but by destroying his neck you get 60% to drop the best stats boosting accessory in the game, the Dragon Rib. This accessory increase attack by 10%, but if your health is under 20%, it increase all stats by 50%. For a total of 60% attack boost, it doesn't stack with the Brilliant Peacemaker. The only danger is that you have to attack the boss from the front, making it quite RNG based. Then I did backtrack to Crossus for a mandatory item, the Holy Gem. Look at this fucking twat. Thankfully, the more heal he used, the less chance he have to use it. You are very unlucky if he use it more than once. This fight require you to silence Gain with the Holy Gem, because he can cast heal, and without solitary struggle, this fight is impossible to deal with. Killing Walder first is mandatory since he can resurrect Gain. For the new players, this is currently the hardest fight in the game. I did let play this fight fully. Okay, wrist was hell. It took me too much attempts to figure out the exact attack setup that prevent her from using her soul crush. Shops are now upgraded with very nice items. Arcitaris is quite dangerous, since he tends to use AoE attacks a lot at half HP. I just got lucky that my attack was enough to deal with him and avoid the dangerous phase. In which world did the devs of this game taught this nonsensical backtracking? Was a good game design idea? And why the fuck did they like this area that much? It's by far the most visited point in the game. As much as I like this game, this part is plain stupid. And if you don't know, you have to backtrack all the way back to where I killed the second boss in the game and get back where I killed the previous boss. I went back here, I spoke to this NPC. It unlocked a boss in Turgeon Mine. I did skip the Lost Forest one since there was no point for me to do it. It's a stronger version of a boss I did before, but the fight is the exact same. And since I have way to do better damage, this was nothing but free. And it gave me the last seal pouch. Alright, this boss is a joke, but there's one interesting thing with this fight, which is the music. From what I figured, it was misplaced, and this track was supposed to be Heimdall boss battle theme. I did dig into the game audio, and I discovered that this game is an absolute mess with the audio, and it takes almost all of the disk space. Each dialogue line have several duplicates, and I guess this is used for the speaker position option. Easy fight. And another easy fight. The hard part was not to get a break mode here. For unknown reason, the break mode gauge is set to 0. Since I didn't before, let me explain how break mode work. You start with an invisible meter that is set at -100. Each time you break a part, I reduce it by 5. The breakup skill increase the value to 10. And when it reaches 0, you will have a high chance to enter break mode. Now Heimdall, my original plan was just to try it with Alicia and switch to Krod, because this boss is quite AoE trigger happy, and since I didn't have deep impact with Alicia, the boss had to cooperate, and cooperative he was indeed. Like I said, before a break mode is highly guaranteed here. Up here you can find the second power bangle, and this one is very annoying to get. To get here you will need to grab the photon reflection +4 that you can find at the lowest part of the dungeon. Behind the mini-boss there's a very good seal stone. It's a stronger swap color of Evolver. This one can use explosion. Alright, Odin is where the run nearly ended, because this one of the rare boss with the ability to dodge from behind, and his evasion rate is quite high. This was a real issue. The hit stat, which increase with level up, adapt quickly, and this is rarely an issue. As you can see from the various clip, I had no way to hit him. This boss is divided in two phases. In the first phase, when he reached 50% HP, he will use a soul crush and wipe one character, ending up the first phase. And for the second phase is the same, but he will rarely use his soul crush. Generally with Alicia or heavy warrior, this is not an issue as long as you manage your AP correctly. In Turgeon Mine, there's a seal stone that prevent counter and dodge, so I had the idea to get back and restore it. However, I ran into a big hoo-ho. Now you remember Fyres, which is picked way back and had no intention to use. Turn out she have enough hit value to hit the boss, but there was still one huge issue. La Deeps! My only hope was to backtrack to the shop in Asgard and see which bow they had. Not only it increase hit by a lot, but it have 100% critical chance, and it was my only hope. Otherwise, a full restart of the game was necessary. If I can't do more than 50% damage in one full AP bar, the challenge would be over. But clinch victory! Phase 2 is the same. But this time Odin is not coded to do a soul crush at under 50% HP. Did I say that I will need to fight him again? The next boss was trash. In this room, you can get a third power bangle. Alright, Freya is the same as Odin first phase. She is coded to use a soul crush and end the fight by wiping one character. It's not visible, but the hardest part for this was to figure out which attack to use. Mirage Pierce in that case. And had her use exact emotion after I used the overdrive. If you wonder why I didn't use the overdrive after the Might Potion, it's very important to never move for this fight since getting to her back can be quite finicky. Then she gave me enough AP, so I could use a charge break which give me just enough AP to end her. Then I stole Lenneth's weapon. And I did grab a very good seal stone. The big Chungus was very much free. This is the only speedrun skip in this game. The hardest part is to get Alicia on right pixel. I use her right arm for alignment. Now for dumb and dumb her. Look at this damage. It stood no chance against my whiff. Rezard was quite easy. My only enemy here was the RNG, since he tended to use his soul crush at half health. Here I am, at the last save point without gaining a single level. Now the final boss, I only did the first phase. The second phase have a gimmick where the boss get a 90% damage reduction from all character but Valkyrie. And since Valkyrie is level 55, that would kill the challenge. Now is not that the boss is not doable. With pushback attack and enough overdrive and might potion you can manage him. The issue is the time it would take for me to kill it. Probably 1 hour or even more. This fight doesn't change at all from my previous challenge run. If you want to watch it, just look at the specific video, so I skipped it. When you reach the last save point, the Seraphic gate is unlocked, which is the hardest content in the game. I don't think it was doable, but I will still attempt it. As you can see, I obviously cheated and gave me 50,000 crystals. In total, I needed around 8,000. And the last thing I wanted to do was to grind the same mob over and over for more than 2 hours straight. I did restore that. Then I went all the way back here and restored this one. Alright, Derna is the first SG boss. This fight is not that bad, and the difficulty is mostly on par with the late main story boss. Now Gabriel, normally he's a non-issue, but I ran into my biggest wall so far. First, Alicia is not strong enough to deal with the rest of the boss. Pushback attack are now mandatory for some boss, and her damage was not enough. Remember the issue I had with Odin. This is the same for him, but this time Fires was useless, and for the second time the run almost ended here. So I had to find a way to increase my hit without damage sacrifice. And there was a way, but I had no idea if it was enough. In this town, there's this armor that cost 800,000 OTH, and it was maybe my solution for the problem. So I did get a fire mouse fur here, then a windswept tail feather from this one, and a deep doom here. As for the silver armor, you can simply buy it in the armor shop. Now I can purchase the best heavy armor in the game. And the extra 50 hit saved the run. With boss that use regenerate, it will take priority over all attacks. The interesting thing is that they can't hit you for around 3 seconds after they use. But something was bothering me. As you can see, Zunde had the very high level of 4, so I switched back to Dylan. Remember this shitbag? He's back. The extra hit did help, but his dodge was better, and as you can guess, I ran into another big wall. So I went back to Turgen Mine and restored this seal stone, which was the solution for the counter issue. I did put it on this dais. Now Odin can't dodge or counter anymore. Even if the issue with counterattack is fixed, my damage was an issue. This fight was very script heavy with my attack, and it ended up off-sync all the time. So I had to find a better weapon, and there was only one way. This rare encounter have a 100% chance to give a good greatsword if you do a direct assault. However, it was impossible. The chance for getting it as a normal drop is around 10%, and it was annoying to get. Now back to this twat. I said before that level 4 was too high on Zunde. I actually just forgot to switch back to Dylan. And this one was the hardest boss of the whole challenge. AP management was quite tricky. The huge issue with him was not his huge AoE attack. The full area lean was. I had to push him away for the AoE, but if didn't have enough AP for 2 or 3 dash, or for the use of a charge break, I was very much dead. Rezard was very much free, and yet again, I forgot to switch to Dylan. FFS. Look, it's him, Dylan. Also, this is the 4th floor. Did you know what it mean? I mean this guy, from a very rare encounter. It gives something really nice. If I can get a direct assault, which is easier said than done. Now this huge damage boost gave me a naught to compensate. Some people buy overpriced cars, I drop big swords. Hey, look, it's the floating lady. Oh boy, very funny, haha. After too much reload, because she did victory sword almost all the time, I did manage this fight. On the last floor, the Bahamut enemy can drop one of the best accessory in the game. It increase attack and defense by 30%, and it natively give the skill God Slayer, and this helped me immensely. However, I ran into a very weird and rare glitch. I couldn't get any drops. No enemy was dropping items, either with direct assault or breaking part. I went back outside and tested on weak trash, and as you can see, no drops at all. And for whatever reason, the game fixed this glitch by itself. What kind of fucking sorcery is this? By destroying his horn, you can get this accessory. And like I said before, this is truly a good one. Now it's time for Ethereal Queen. Oh dear! Must move away before using an item. Get wrecked! Alright, the last thing I was accepting was a break mode here. This is the last challenge of the Seraphic Gate. With pushback, this boss is not that hard. The way to deal with this fight is to dispose of the demi-shadow with the Tome of Alchemy, but turn out that the chance for this item to work is based on your level, and it was working very, very rarely. This boss is not manageable at all with the trash mobs around, so I manually had to deal with it, and it was infuriating. Two in a row is very lucky. This was around my 20th attempt, and the tome had a success rate of around 110. and done. This was the hardest challenge I did with this game. If someone got an idea for another one, I will gladly take it. Just know that I'm not a fan at all of 50 Crystals Run.